All right, so we're shooting a video and we're Facebook Live. Doesn't get any better than that. Get it together, Lugo. All right, so Superior Drummer 3. Awesome. I'm learning it. And I've been going crazy with this thing. But we're getting there. So I had Superior Drummer 3 for the last year or so and was like, I don't know, not really feeling it. I was more of an addictive drums guy, but I kept hearing people's programs that were programming on it, and I was like, man, it sounds so good. And the more I used addictive, there were things about addictive that were like, sometimes you don't know about things until you are mixing the song, and then you're like, that's why with guitars, I put in the notes the guitar I used, amp I used, or whatever, whatever configuration, because a lot of times when I'm making the record, I'm so stoked of my super geniusness, and I think everything's awesome, like like uh, like the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you live in your dream. Got a little cowardly lion there, but then you go to mix it and you realize, wait a second, that's too. It's like usually it's too bright or it's too much gain. Those are my two. Like those are the things that I have a tendency, and I think sometimes as the day progresses, because I track guitars loud, if my ears start to kind of everything gets brighter, and by the end it's like, and then when I listen to the next day, I'm like, whoa, get me the fab filter, turn that down. But anyway, but there were things about addictive that were bugging me, and the thing about addictive that I liked was that it just sounds cool right out of the gate. So it kind of played into a little bit of like laziness, like you know what I mean? Like, oh, just put in, whatever it is, the Sound City one. I can't think what it's called, Foundation, whatever the one, the Dave Grohl one or whatever. That sounds great, man. It sounds like the denial. Not really, but it sounds really good. But the cymbals don't sound like it sounds good and it's in your face, but I find a little like, I don't know, almost like a little cheapness. It sounds cheap, especially the cymbals, where addictive sounds, it's not as dynamic, like right out of the gate. You don't hit it and go, whoa, blows your mind. But the architecture and the way it's designed and the detail in the sampling is superior. It's superior. Look at that. I wish they were paying me, right? Very nice. So, okay. All right. So the journey has been to so here's the journey I'm on. Obviously, most of us are stuck at home in a pandemic. Maybe freaking out, maybe not. Maybe working, maybe not. But I've made a commitment to be positive through this, and also to learn, to like, this is my learning. And actually, I've been on a learning trip my whole life, but the last 2 months has been just at a feverish pace. So I went into this kind of weird time, slow down thing. I went in like on kind of with momentum. So as this is gone, actually my momentum in certain areas has kind of built up. So, and it's like learning how to program drums better, getting this superior thing happening. I took courses with MPC. I took a course on all of these online courses with Omnisphere and Serum, and I'm understanding and obviously putting the whole guitar rig together and learning Big Sky and all these echoes and Eventide H9 and learning about so a lot of this stuff is very common knowledge to people, and it's not always common knowledge to me. Like I'm a little bit of an old school knob turner. I just use my ears, which is cool. And I have, uh, I guess you'd say, I have good taste to an extent, at least good enough taste that people like my taste. So, because that's I think what Michael Brower said. He says it's all about taste, and pray to God that you have good taste, right? It's not necessarily right or wrongs in art, but if you produce stuff that people don't like, if you turn the knob in a direction that people don't like, you're gonna end up with a day job. So, but the thing was is that I was relying on that a lot, and so I want to be skilled. I want to be way more skilled. So, and what I'm doing is I'm facing all my fears. I'm attacking everything that scared me. Drum programming was like, oh, forget about it. I hate this. Synthesizers, no way. Just find me a preset pad that works, and okay, we're cool. Reverbs, like learning all about that just was never my thing. I was, I mean, as a kid, I never even used reverb. I was like into Al Di Meola and all this virtuosic guitar playing, and I didn't like anything. I always played bone dry because that's just how I played. I bone dry, nothing, no delay, no reverb, not barely even any chorus ever. Like just plug into the front of a Jubilee or a Plexi or I used to play whatever Laney or Bogner and that's it. That's it, a tuner. But times have changed. So I make up my mind that I've got to get this superior drummer thing happening. Because my standard operating procedure of being lazy sometimes is just it's run its course. So I start digging into this about 4 or 5 days ago. Um, I mixed a record that I had programmed on Superior and on Addictive, and when I got done with that, I'm like, all right, I got to get Superior going on. So, and that's not to take away from Addictive, because Addictive drums is cool. It's really cool. Um, I think just for organic like drum sets, this is going to be my jam. So I start the journey of like, what is this thing about? Like opening up tabs, and because I can play, I can operate on a piece of software or anything and barely open anything and use it for years because it's like I'm like, oh, there's delay. Okay, cool. I'm good. I know that. That's all I need is like that's it. Oh, I don't even know what modulation really means. Is that like chorus or is that like reverb? Like I don't even have to know that. It's just like okay, I'm good. You know, and I'm just being honest. Like that's just my nature sometimes. But we are going against our nature now, and that's what we're doing. So I I talked to some friends. The generic or the stock stuff that comes with Superior, the 7 kits, to be honest with you, are kind of they're okay. I don't personally. The thing I find with Superior drummer is this: they did the same thing that Kemper did. Kemper sent the Kemper out with the worst profiles. And I don't know if it was to sell you more profiles. To me, it's not the greatest thing in the world because a lot of people get a Kemper, play with it for an hour, go, this thing sucks, and they get rid of it because they don't realize that they have all the junk. Yeah. Oh, I got Chunky. Anyway, we're back. We got the dog. So, all right, where was I? Oh, so yeah, Superior sent, man, I don't know, man. It's just. So if you come to clean kits, the only one I really ever used was the IOTE. This was like, and then once I got the other packs, I was like, oh wow, okay, the IOTE's like, it's cool. You want to hang out in the studio?
Yeah.
You're not going with mommy?
No, coronavirus.
Oh, right. Coronavirus. Yeah, come sit down. Come over here. Close the door. We're making a movie, though.
You're making a movie?
We're making a movie. Like coronavirus. Okay, so. Anyway. All right. Yeah, whatever. These Ludwigs are awful to me. I'm just being honest. That whole like no hole in the kick drum. I don't know, man. It's not my. Sounds like a circus drum. What are you doing? You got a shield? Show everybody the shield.
Nah.
No, get out. Come on. All right.
I want to be with you.
All right. I'm gonna make this for a few minutes, and then we'll do some father son bonding. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah, it's still loading too. Look at that. Like saying, and in this corner, blech, right? To me, that's not for me.
Dad?
What?
Are you on Facebook or YouTube?
I'm on Facebook, and we're shooting a movie. It'll be on YouTube. You're gonna be on YouTube. You excited?
Whoa. Whoa.
I love you.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
All right, go sit back there. Have some fun. Let me finish this, and then we'll hang. All right. Anyway, getting back to Superior Drummer. Yeah. So these clean kids, whatever. Here's the premiere. Last one. We'll move on. We're moving on. To me, tankers. Now, there's a couple of presets that I did. I never really used the presets because all I did was have the iote in the template. Such a slacker. But I used the iote every day, and that was it. And I just hate. I was like, it was all right, whatever. But there's some cool ones in here. There's like this California metalcore California punk. This is not bad, and it's probably a combination of kits. So these are presets with mixing, right there. Yeah, it's got a bunch of. That to me is like more. Anyway, so we're off this tangent. We're on to another tangent. So I'm gonna learn Superior Drummer 3. That's this new extravaganza. So what I did was I started to open up the program, and I started to take one of the courses I do. I have a membership to Groove 3. Jake, come on, buddy. I have a membership to Groove 3, and I started on this Superior Drummer course. I literally watched like the first 15 minutes of videos, and it sent me on a 3-day journey. That's just the way it is. But the problem I was having was none of these kits were cool, but didn't excite me. And my buddy Rick Vieira said, "Hey, check out Rock Foundry," and I didn't really realize they had expansion packs. And then when I was checking out Rock Foundry, I saw Music City USA, and I'm like, well, that might be really cool because I'd make a lot of country demos, and if I can get it sounding good. So we ended up getting both of those, and I ended up really falling in love with Music City. That drum set, that sound, that Chuck Ainley setup is like voila to me. And though I've been digging more the Foundry, it's just the ticky Metallica sounding drums. That's not my thing, and I don't do metal really that much. That's not that kind of thing. So sometimes things are cool, but they're not necessarily useful to you. Hold on one second. Hey Jake, give me 3 minutes. I'm almost done. All right. Ay Dios míos. But so I make beats on. I don't know. This video is just going nowhere. What do I do? All right, we're gonna pick it up. So I program on Machina, the Native Instruments, MPC thing, and the way that these are all set up from the factory, all these drums, are very uncomfortable and weird and like and they don't even make sense. Like I'm like, how do you program drums like this? I'm going back and forth. And then it kind of occurred to me, oh, I bet this was designed to program like on a yeah, that doesn't have the rough, but you get it. You know, to program on a keyboard. But and then I was trying to move Superior Drummer around to fit the protocol of my Machina, and I finally did that. And then I realized when I would go to the grooves tab and play the grooves, there was no there was there was there was no snare drum. Hold on one second. Both of you sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. Sit down. No, 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 no. Just sitting. Everybody's staying in. 5 minutes. Let me finish this. They've been home for a month and a half. Oh, good Lord. My Corona. Okay. My Corona. What do you think of that?
Me? I don't know what it is.
All right, stay back. Stay back.
Well,
All right, don't start playing. All right. So anyway, so what I Jake, please.
Okay.
This video. Oh my God, you guys are seeing the truth, right? So,
Stick leg out of here.
you guys, kill it. Okay.
Okay.
Enough. Okay. I'll figure out how to chop this up into Camtasia so it's somewhat is reasonable. Anyway, so I moved all the drums around to fit the protocol of Machina, and that in itself was a day of learning. But then I started to realize like there's so much in these grooves, these preset grooves that is cool. And I'm not the guy that like would take like a bunch of grooves and make a song out of it. I'm not that dude, but I can program a song and I can grab a little piece from one of these MIDI grooves, like a little hi-hat thing, and then utilize it. Especially the fills. The fills and the hi-hat is where this stuff is weird. Hold on one second. Both of you stop it. No, just be quiet.
Okay.
Okay? I'm sorry, guys. It's hard to do it on the keyboard. I'm much better like yeah, I'm better on the Machina. But anyway, so once I moved everything around to suit the protocol of Machina, then I realized that the grooves didn't work anymore. Like I would play the groove and then there'd be like no snare drum, and I realized because it had moved. And then I was like, well, then I'll have to move the MIDI mapping around and I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll try to start programming on. Well, then I was like, well, maybe I'll figure out how to make this work on Machina. And I'm like, oh, forget it. And then I talked to my buddy Nate, and he programs on the keyboard. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll do that. I start doing that. I'm like, you know, it's like I've been doing this so long that I like it. I'd rather just stay on the Beats pads for the most part. If I'm just making a little demo, it's one thing to go like, I get that, but that's just not how I work. I'm just better off over here. Where he says he's better off over here. So he's probably, as far as Superior Drummer is concerned, he's in the majority because they set this thing up to off of keyboard better than off of pads. So then it was the next journey was to figure out in controller editor Machina Native Instruments. Yes, I had to dig into Native Instruments. Scary. But I set up a template for SD3 for sound or for Superior Drummer 3, and it is yeah, that's it. So I was able to switch all the pads around to suit Superior Drummer. Hold on one second. All right. So anyway, I got I got Machina. This is what I'm talking about, man. This ain't no joke, yo. Anyway, yeah. So now the machine is set up. It's set up for my fingers and it feels good. So I get that going on. Then the next step is like, oh, now how do I because I have a set template, right? So these kick comes out kick, snare. See, right now it's just coming out 2-track, right? Because this is just a factory preset. See, it's not coming out. See, these are the tracks here that are bust out. These are audio tracks that I can record. Kick, snare, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3, hi-hat, overs, and rooms. Well, how do I get this out here? And then it's like they're like, oh well, yeah, there's a way you can do it through like basically like in Pro Tools how you can import session data. You can do the same thing with here. You can import the mixer, but you miss the whole point of it because there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of routing, and once I imported the mixer, and then it was like, and then I lost all this stuff on these presets because some of these presets from the factory are cool, and that's sort of a good starting point. And then if you want a little less snare ring or brighten up this or a little less reverb or you can do things, but they sound really good. It's a good starting spot. So then I had to figure out, like, I was trying to figure out how to import them so that I could just open up anything I wanted from here, and then it would just be set up, for my thing, Um, but that wasn't going to happen, and that took a day to figure out that wasn't happening, and yeah, that was kind of that was one of those things where I tried my hardest, and then I had to just admit complete defeat and just go, all right, I'm going to figure out now how to make these templates out of these kit presets into my thing. And I figured out how to do that, making a million mistakes along the way. That took an entire day because I just, I can't even get into it. But yeah, like the mixers, like I realized down the line, oh, I've got to figure out like where's it actually starting to come out, because I was like sending the kick out here and then realizing like, oh, it doesn't sound the same. Like, oh, wait a second, because the kick is actually being bussed and it's coming out here. So and then I'm losing all these effects and side chains and reverbs and gates and tape saturation, compression. But we got past all that. Then the next step was realizing, wow, the majority of these drum sets that come in Superior are drummer perspective, meaning hi-hats on the right, whatever it is, it's the opposite. It sounds like it looks here. We're looking at the drum set from behind, right? Hi-hats over here, rides over there. That's not how I work. I work audience perspective. So I'm like, so then, oh my God, then I'm in each thing trying to flip them, and then I'm starting to realize, oh my God, wait a second, I changed the panning on the hi-hat and the toms, but now the overs are backwards, and then and then I couldn't figure out what I was doing. At that point, I was like, oh my God. So I just threw everything out that I had been doing. Right now we're in like day 3 of this. This took me a while. Trust me. I'm not. I'm getting hip to this, but I'm not. I by no means have a master's degree in drum programming in Superior. But so finally, I start back from scratch, and Will's like, "Well, why don't you just reverse the panning on all the microphones, or all the inputs in Pro Tools?" And I'm like, "Huh, okay. I don't want to do that because I'm a creature of habit and I hate change, but dang, that is a good idea." So I just did it. And then I realized that the perspective is different on different presets. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, Superior. This isn't that hard, but yeah, some of them are drummers, some of them are audience, so that's figuring that out. And then, oh my God. And then on some of them, I think they're off. Because when you solo, you can hear like the hi-hat's like, the hi-hat's supposed to be over here, but then I'm really hearing the hi-hat over here on the overs. So then I'm like, wait a second, if these guys botched some of this stuff up. So anyway, I now have 20 preset drum kits that go right out to my template that are exact perfect MIDI mapping. I haven't touched anything for Superior, so I can use grooves, I can program them myself, and they work exactly where I want on my pads. And they're all perfect, and they're all phased up, and they're all audience perspective. Man, I'm not kidding you, man. Here they go. So I got a bunch of Music City, I got some Rock Foundry, and then I've got some of the stock Superior Drummer. So we're going to start right from, this is Music City, and I really didn't change anything. I've just pulled these out, and obviously I can mix them for the song. I can adjust things. I can mix them in Pro Tools. I can mix them in Superior. I can switch out snare drums. I can change tunings. I can, you can do whatever you want, right? So we're gonna start. So this is Music City Basic. This is mixed by the Chuck Ainley. Now here's their default. Pop rock. That Tama is nice. Or yeah, this Rogers. It's softer than the Black Beauty. This is Music City. This is called tighter, a little more compressed. Yeah, really, to me, that's super useful. All right, so those are the four different Music Cities. Again, here's their default one. And again, this is out on my pads, and you'll see all of these are not going out 1 and 2 at all. Really nice. All right, now we'll go down to, again, and there's 20 of these. So this is my jumping off point. Here's Bleeding 70s. This is Rock Foundry. I think this is maybe Bob Rock, one of them. I don't know. This isn't Rob Rock. This is somebody. This is just tune tracks. This is just, I don't know. This is, Bob Rock made this kit though, this package. Change out that snare. Let's try whatever, 6 by 12. That's weird. Nope, doesn't work that way. I don't know how to get back to the groove without going to this page. That's wiggity whack. All right, now we go to Rock Foundry metal. Just they're metal. And again, some of these are rock, metal, country. It's like the 90s ska metal is called and it wants its snare drum back. All right, Rock Foundry. This is their mono kit. I like this thing. I don't know, man. It's totally not my thing, but this thing just sounds cool. Yeah, that's really neat, man. It's like, hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Rock Foundry, this is mono Ludwig kit. Same thing, just a little different look on it, I guess. Here's mono saturated. It's like mono saturated fats. It says mono saturated. Hey guys. That's nuts. All right, we're moving. Here's Nashville Punch. This is Rock Foundry's like Nashville little thing. Again, I think Rock Foundry was done by Bob Rock. Yeah, I would date that. You know, it's a little hanging over. It's all right though. And here's Tape Pop. So now we're moving. Now we're moving to the Superior Drummer 3 presets. So you'll see I've got the first four are Music City. These middle ones are Rock Foundry. And there's regular kits and there's mono kits. And then these are all Superior Drummer. So we'll start with the California Punk. And this is, again, pad mixers. Everything's set up. This is perfect. I can... Yeah, pretty good. It's a little weird stuff on this, but anyway, you get it. Here it is. That's a cool kit. That's a cool sound. I don't know what that is. That's just a bunch of this stuff. I don't even know what this is. That's a Tama Bell Brass. That's all over these different... It's got like a Premier 16 by 16 floor tom, and then it's got a Ludwig Classic 3-ply. It's a mix match, and you can switch all these out, and you can go like that. It's weird. You see it over here, but you hear it over there because I've switched perspective. All right, here is Superior Drummer 3, Country Rock Punch. There's another country rock kind of thing. Whoa, that does not look like country rock, does it? It is. Okay, it's country rock. Oh, yeah, it is. You can see it over here. It looks like metal. It looks like Slipknot. The red drums. Yeah, that's a nice one too. It's like you may get it in there and realize, oh, there's too much, reverb or too much of a compression. You can just switch it around. It's easy. Here is Gent style DJ. Opening thing sounds like walk this way, like dun dun gat, dun dun gat. Dun, dun, gat. These are all good and useful, good starting points. Here's Indie Rock Room. Indie Rock Room. Give it a second to load in. Yeah, that kick sounds like a cardboard box. It's good though. Here's Massenburg's Iote. I like this one. It was one of the other presets. There's artists. There's like producer presets too. This one was pretty cool. This is the Iote kit with all the Massenburg. Not much. Just some. I guess just. Yeah, just some EQ really. But it sounds pretty. That's pretty cool. Metal Confusion. It's a Metal Confusion! You know what I've had stuck in my head? Remember what I was singing yesterday, Riker?
Not a clue.
You got me locked inside your love. You got me locked in, yeah! I don't know why that song stuck in my head.
I remember.
What?
Well, you were singing in the car.
Yeah, I was like, you got me locked inside your love. And then I went right to me against the world, me against the world. Metal Confusion. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over metal drums sometimes. Here's modern metal high. This is the pitch of the snare. I did high and low. I like both. These are pretty cool. I like that. And then here's modern metal low. I think it's just the pitch of the snare. Yeah, buddy. And remember, there's no mixing in Pro Tools. And this is really nice. I think this is their kind of black album-y, or maybe, I don't know. It's called 91. This is just a preset in the Superior Drummer Core 91. And go.
Don't you dare.
like a crazy gated reverb. It's 1981 classic reverb. Anyway, that's it. Hey guys, y'all sit down, be cool. So there it is. So there's Superior Drummer 3. If I come up here to this default. Hey guys. Okay, good. We got them back. Yeah, here we go. Oh, I just got my room open. All right, guys, I'm at work. Guys, I'm at work. Show some respect. Guys, I'm at work. I added that little. What I did notice, one thing I did learn from the going through the Superior Drummer kind of protocol was the emphasis on a lot of different hi-hat things and a lot of different snare things all grouped together, so that because I think that that's really a spot where it can sound more drum programming if it's just got one hi-hat, you got one snare, one kick. It can feel very kind of boom bap, which sometimes that's cool, but man, is everybody out of here? I love rock and roll. Anyway, but they have a lot of stuff all grouping, and I started to mess with it. I got my snare, I've got a rim shot and a rough, and then I got hi-hat, open hi-hat, and a foot clamp down on the hi-hat. I feel like it can be more like I feel like Neil Peart. Anyway, that's where we're going. That was madness. That was a tough video to make. Good Lord. That was almost as hard as learning Superior Drummer. I should have put the kick under it though. Oh God. Can you believe that?